What's up guys, Austin here, 7-figure entrepreneur and day trader. I've been day trading over half a decade, own multiple businesses in the trading space, and this is what I have to share with you to make your journey just a little bit easier. So in this one, we are going to be talking about how traders are athletes, and primarily mental athletes, but there's a lot of physical things that go into it as well. All right, so I've actually had this note on my desk for over a year and a half, and it says Jeter mode. So Derek Jeter was a Major League Baseball player, if you don't know who he is, who was super consistent. He focused on getting on base. He didn't care about hitting home runs. It wasn't about hitting it over the fences every single time he had the opportunity to. It was about making contact with the ball, getting some numbers on the board, getting on base so he could eventually score some points for his team. And that's the same type of thing with trading. You just hit the consistent plays, singles, doubles, they add up. It's not about hitting a home run every single day. You just want to get in the green, make something, and overall it's going to compound, and you will be one of those traders that is long-term, consistently profitable, that compounds into you throwing more size, becoming a more profitable trader. Just like how Derek Jeter is a Hall of Fame baseball player and Barry Bonds isn't. Barry Bonds is known as being one of the biggest home run hitters in the league, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's got nothing to show for it because he was juicing up, hitting steroids, and just trying to be Superman. You know what I mean? It's not about trying to be Superman. It's about just trying to make contact, get in the green, and in the long term, be an actual real winner. So another big misconception is that a lot of people just think traders are just nerds that are just fat and just sit in front of a computer all day and just are really smart at math and just crunch numbers and they probably run the matrix through their brain and are able just to make money out of thin air. And that's totally not true. A majority of the successful traders that I met take their lifestyle extremely seriously in terms of their wellness, in terms of their physical health and their mental health, and just being sharp. And that's a huge thing, not just in trading but also in business and also in sports. Another probably huge misconception, thanks to the Wolf of Wall Street, is people probably think traders are just these dudes that are just a bunch of snobby douchebags who just rail lines of coke off their desk and are just total degenerates. And while that might be true for some traders, I promise you it's not true for a huge majority. However, the degeneracy part is a common theme, but those guys don't have the long careers, just like how the athletes that end up getting a little cocky and getting too big for their britches don't make it in the Hall of Fame either. So 100% successful traders, if anything, have that Derek Jeter mindset where it's all about hitting your singles and your doubles, getting on base over and over and over again in the long run, because eventually you're going to end up in the Hall of Fame. If you swing for the fences every time and do whatever you can and stress your body out, you're going to end up like Barry Bonds and not have shit to show for it. You know what I mean? You might have been having huge days here and there, but in the end of the day, your name's not in the Hall of Fame. So it's all about that consistency, it's all about that discipline, and it's all about showing up, performing to your best, and doing what it takes to do this for the long run so you can really be one of the greats. Practice. So just like any other athlete performing at a high level, traders need to get their reps in. They need to know how to perform a certain task very, very well so they can perform it under pressure. So no different than a receiver and a professional NFL team catching a pass under pressure. You got to be able to catch that same pass 1,000 times with no pressure. So how does that kind of correlate to trading? Well, there's a couple different ways. One way that I would say is super effective in terms of practice is backtesting. So backtesting can be done in more ways than just going back on a chart and seeing if something plays out. Many softwares out there offer replay modes of some sorts. So if you're not familiar with replay modes on trading software, it's basically you could go back to a certain date at a certain time and actually replay the market activity tick by tick, second by second, to where it's literally just like you're trading that actual day and time. So this is one of those things that I would highly recommend any trader do to get comfortable with reps. So you got to put the repetitions in. You got to know what it's like to manage a trade as it starts to go against you and pull back. You got to know what it's like just to even get filled on certain opportunities. Now, this is going to be a little bit different on certain markets, like small caps, for example, that have way more restrictive order routes that are a lot more competitive to get your fills. But I personally trade futures, and Tradeovate has an amazing replay mode that you can go on and actually take a trade as if it was real time. And you can literally throw an order out at a level, you can see it get filled, you can manage your stop losses, manage your take profits, you can drag them down, you can change the placements of everything, and it's not all jumpy like bar by bar like Trading Views replay mode is. Tradeovate is actually it's literally like you're trading it in real time. The cool thing is you can actually speed up time, you can slow down time, you can do a lot of different things, but the main reason that it's super useful is that you can go back, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 trading setups by date and time, plug it into the software and execute the trade in either direction. So let's say you want to practice your short execution, you can go ahead and do that. Let's say you want to practice your long execution, you can go ahead and do that. You can get used to what it's like to get filled, for a trade to play out, dealing with a trade before it actually starts to work, or even test out new systems and theories in regards to, you know, order management, or, you know, filling certain amounts of size, scaling in, scaling out. That is a huge way that traders can actually get those reps in practice before going into a real market environment and actually being able to perform the same exact moves under pressure. So that is a massive thing. Get those reps in so you are able to nail it whenever you have to do it under pressure. Athletes are always talking about discipline, discipline, discipline. The same thing applies in trading. I've even said it multiple times. You need to be disciplined in your process. You need to be disciplined in your execution. You need to be disciplined in the way in which you prepare things. It translates to so many different categories. So with trading, you have to take every trade or assume every trade is, you know, that's it. That's the only focus. Just like if you're a professional athlete, like every game is that playoff game. You need to expect yourself to perform at the highest level. You can't get filled on a trade and be like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, take some off here because I feel like this today and whatever. No, you need to hold yourself to your best every single day, just like an athlete holds himself to their best every single day to put up numbers on the board. And we're not putting up numbers on a scoreboard as traders. We're putting up numbers on our P&L and our bank account, which should honestly even motivate you more to do well and hold yourself accountable to the best version of yourself that you can be. It's one of those things that's absolutely vital. So discipline, honestly, over everything in trading. You need to be disciplined in your warm-up, basically your pre-market plan. You need to be disciplined in whatever it is that you do off the charts prior to trading. So for me, I like to go outside, get a nice walk in, turn my brain on physically before coming in and doing my actual trading activity. I also recommend that you're super disciplined in actually reviewing your trades after the fact. This is very similar to athletes that will review a game after it happens. You know, I'm sure if you've played any level of high school or college sports, your coach would basically take footage of the game, make you review it, see what you could have done better, see what you did great, or, you know, actually just overall review the whole performance. Same type of thing in trading. Take your trades, upload them to an online trading software, analyze your execution, analyze what your realized profit was compared to what you planned on making, what you did right, what you did wrong. Take notes on your performance for the day. It's very similar in that aspect. So you need to be disciplined in really all aspects. In risk management, you need to know how much you're risking. You need to know, in order to make, you know, X amount, you need to be very disciplined in your prep in terms of, you know, understanding what is coming out for the day, what type of situations you're looking to expect for the day. You need to be disciplined in your post-trade process, whether that's reviewing, whether that's journaling, whatever it may be. And also you need to be very disciplined in the fact that you just got to show up. So half of successful trading is showing up. It doesn't matter how you feel, doesn't matter what it is, you got to show up. So you're never going to be able to nail big opportunities because they're not scheduled. You're not going to know when a great trade is going to happen. You just have to be there. You have to be on the field in order to catch the pass and make the play. Just like in trading, you need to be at your desk ready to execute if a setup presents itself. So that's very similar. You just need to be overall just very well-rounded in your process and stick to it with extreme discipline. All right, guys, we're halfway through the video right now, hitting on a lot of different points. If a lot of this makes sense to you and you like hearing this different perspective, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because this is what I'm going to be coming out with on a regular basis to tell you the untold truths and to kind of give you a different perspective on this industry. So taking your health seriously is massive. Like, just like a professional athlete that relies on their physical condition, traders need the same type of focus on their physical condition, because if you're physically healthy, you will be more mentally in tune. So your gut is like your second brain. If you have an unhealthy gut, your brain function is going to be lacking. So not only that, you need to actually release the energy that you take in during a trading day. Trading involves like tons and tons and tons amounts of thought, stress, everything. Your wheels are turning whenever that market's open and you have risk on the table. So if you're sitting here and you had a crazy stressful trading day, or you had a great trading day, you need to get off the screens afterwards, go outside or go to your gym and release the energy that you were basically exposed to that trading day, so you can come back the next day and do it over and over and over again. It's not just so you can be healthy and sharp, but it's so that you can be in it for the long run. If you go into a gym and you just start picking up 400 pounds and you try to bench press 400 pounds, one, you're probably going to get crushed because you're not strong enough to lift 400 pounds. But two, you're not warmed up, even if you are strong enough to do it, to actually do it sustainably and not to take an injury. So same thing in trading. If you are not mentally prepared or physically prepared to reload that amount of stress and that amount of energy and put out that amount of mental energy, then you are not going to have a long career. You're going to burn out. So by actually being able to get up from your desk after a trading day and go do something physically and release the energy that you were exposed to and release the stress that you were exposed to, it's going to allow you to reset and come back recharged the next day. So physically, you need to get sleep. You need to get 8 hours of sleep. I would not recommend that you try to be a full-time trader on 5-6 hours of sleep. You need to be in that 8-hour threshold. If you're not, you are going to be stressing your body out. You can still do it 100%, but you are going to be taxing yourself. I know traders that trade very well on little amounts of sleep, but they are definitely taxing themselves. So, the more you're able to recharge your body, the more you're able to recharge your brain. This is scientifically proven. This is not an opinion. There have been multiple studies out there that people that sleep 8 hours are able to cognitively perform better than people that don't. And you don't have to take my word for it. There's actual research and studies done on this that are proving it as a fact. So make sure that you are, warming yourself up in terms of turning your brain on in the morning. Make sure that after a trading day, you're going and releasing that energy physically, whether it's going for, light cardio, intense cardio, weightlifting, whatever it may be, going in a sauna and sweating stuff out. You know what I mean? You just need to release everything that you take in each day so you can be ready to take in more the next day. If not, you're just going to get overloaded and, end up hurting yourself. Similar to an athlete that, let's just say, has crazy training sessions all the time and takes no time for recovery. They're just going to eventually tear a muscle, break a limb, something. So you need to be able to actually do this over and over and over again, more so in a mental light for trading. And we're actually able to mentally sustain more by having a good physical output. So that is like a huge thing in terms of being physically healthy. That is like a massive, part of all this. And also diet. If you have a shitty diet, you're eating McDonald's all the time, or let's just say you're eating good, but you booze heavy and you just drink tons of alcohol, mentally you're just going to be cloudy. You're not going to be as sharp as you need to be, and that's just going to inhibit you from functioning at your best. Remember, it's you versus you. You need to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. I even contacted a guy. I have him farm lion's mane for me and encapsulate it into an actual pill. And what that does, it's basically a nootropic, it's single source, it's organic, it's a super high quality ingredient. Lion's mane, for those that don't know, is a mushroom. It's a legal mushroom. It's not like a psychedelic mushroom or anything like that, but it allows your brain to synapse faster. And that basically means taking a neuron and having it send a message to another neuron. So it's letting your brain do that faster, exchange information at a quicker rate. It's reducing inflammation, reducing stress, reducing anxiety, and overall basically mentally stimulating you in a good way and taking care of your brain. So there's all sorts of things you could do, whether it's through habit or whether it's through consumption, that are going to help you be healthy and allow you to perform at your best. So just like in sports and trading, there's levels to this shit. There's people that are just f***ing around, playing a little pickup game, making, $50, $100 here and there. They're not taking it super serious. There's people that are in like the minor leagues that are making, 20, 30, 40, 50K a year. And then you got the big boys that are making 6, 7, 8 figures a year from this on a regular basis. And if you want to get into that caliber, you need to perform at the highest level possible. And as you go up, so does the stress. So does the energy required. So does the off-screen stuff that you need to do in order to do your job and earn your way to be at that level. You don't just get to make $1 million in your sleep or by winging it every day. You do it by having massive discipline. You do it by being extremely process driven. You do it by taking the shit serious and making sure that you're actually doing the best that you can every single day, eating, breathing, and sleeping it. You know what I mean? Not just coming down and being, oh yeah, I'm going to trade today and then I'm going to go f*** off and just do whatever I want and not analyze my performance or not try to get better in my free time. Any professional athlete out there probably spends 80% of their time doing something that's related to improving themselves in the arena that they play in. Whether you're a basketball player, football player, baseball player, they're probably spending most of their time out of a game training for the next one. And that's the same thing with trading. Whether you're not you don't need to trade all the time to be a better trader. So you can literally, when you're not trading, analyze your performance, go back and test your system over a large sample size and see if what you're doing is working. Go and do something for yourself physically, release the energy that you are exposing yourself and taking in every single day, release the stress hormones, learn how to manage yourself better. There's all these different things that you could do to better yourself that's going to not only positively impact your trading and allow you to trade at a higher level, but it's going to allow you to live a higher quality of life. So that's a great thing about trading is you're not getting hit by a 300-pound dude to make a living, you know what I mean? Compared to if you're like a football player, you know what I mean? If you're a quarterback and you rely on your arm and not getting squashed by some massive guy for a living, that's great, and I totally respect it. But as a trader, you don't have to deal with the physical elements of getting injured. You don't have to deal with that type of stress. You don't have to deal with busting your ankle or blowing out your knee or breaking your leg or something like that. You just need to make sure that you are mentally on point, and in order to be mentally on point, you need to be physically on point. So a lot of the traders that I know that perform at super high levels, myself included, take their physical health extremely seriously. Diet is a huge part of it. Supplementing is a huge part of it. Physically training is a huge part of it. You know what I mean? So going into all these different categories for your physical well-being are going to translate into your mental well-being. If you eat a great diet and have good gut health, your brain is going to be sharper than somebody's that doesn't. If you sleep more than someone that pulls all-nighters all the time and gets drunk all night and is hungover all the time, you're going to be mentally sharper than they are. If you go out and train your body physically and release hormones and actually get endorphins running through your body, there's physiological things that are putting you ahead of people that don't. There's all these different things that you could do for your body and your mind as a trader that is very similar to those of professional athletes. I know traders that go in cold plunges all the time. I personally like saunas all the time. I go in a sauna probably 4 or 5 times a week, even when I don't feel like it, just because I know it has a positive effect on my body. I don't drink liquor. I don't smoke weed. I don't do anything really. All I do nowadays is just focus on myself and how I can be the best version of myself that I can be. Now, that's not to say that before, back in the day, that I was always this way, because I wasn't, you know what I mean? But I realized that if I wanted to hold myself to a certain standard and get levels of mental clarity and perform it a certain way, that I was gonna have to leave a lot of that stuff behind to get to the levels that I wanted to get to. And another thing that's very similar between traders that trade at a high level and athletes that trade at a high level is a lot of really good traders have coaches. So I don't necessarily mean in terms of strategy. I mean in terms of mentally. So I personally even worked with a mental game coach for quite a while. His name's Jared Tendler. He wrote The Mental Game of Trading, and my sessions with Jared were very, very, very impactful for me mentally, and it really allowed me to realize a lot of things about myself to get to the next level. Similar to how a professional athlete has coaches in different areas that help them take their game to the next level. In trading, it's so mental. You really need to be super sharp and super dialed in and understand why you feel certain ways about certain things and what systems you can implement to overcome certain obstacles. That's where mental game coaches really come into play. I don't know if you ever watched the show Billions. They had Wendy Rhodes. She was a psychologist that was there for all the traders. Like, that's a real thing, you know what I mean? You could totally just go see a therapist. You could be just real with yourself and write shit down on paper or whatever it is, but do something to better yourself in certain areas. And I would highly recommend bringing a coach on, because they're experts in the field that they operate in, and they will help you get further along. Like, I personally, for me, I would say a big thing that allowed me to push forward and have exponential growth in my trading career, going back and doing my gameplay, looking back at what happened for my previous trading days, taking those variables that I was coming up with, tracking them, seeing how they performed, and then going in replay mode and testing it over and over and over again, getting comfortable with the repetition, so when I actually was in a live market environment, I could perform under pressure flawlessly. So these are the types of standards you need to hold yourself to if you want to make it to the big leagues in trading. Just like the athletes that are where they are professionally, they didn't get there by breezing their way through practice and not taking their game seriously. They got there by pushing every single day and going hard with every single aspect of their process. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video, got some value out of it, and most importantly, got a really interesting perspective on what it's like to take trading seriously and comparing it to professional sports. If you like these types of videos, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll keep them coming for you guys. So that's all I got for you. I'll see you in the next one.